This is a test that Obelix helped me set up, where I wanted to test the effect of fatigue on skirmishers, because we know that fatigue is going to reduce the speed of a unit, it's going to reduce the melee attack of a unit, it's going to make a unit less effective in combat, but it also has an effect on the reload stat of the skirmishers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to test the speed of these units. Now, just a short little sprint to see if the speed differential is noticeable, and I'd say it definitely is. These guys are very tired. These guys are fresh, and you can see they are faster. They turn faster, they run faster. So in a kiting situation, it's going to be good to be rested. But when these mercenary beleg slingers that are tired start firing, what I'm going to look for is if the rate of fire is noticeably different between these two units. And to me, it looks like they're firing at pretty much the exact same time. Like, there is no noticeable difference, because when these guys are now, they've increased to their status to tired and winded. So this was sort of inadvertent, because I thought that skirmishers wouldn't actually rest while firing. Now, these mercenary beleg slingers, they are firing and they are resting at the same time. So it seems that skirmishers that stand still are going to regain their stamina. So I actually have to run these guys around a bit to tire them out now, because now they're actually fresh. So they managed to rest. I'm going to use my quick reload, just run about a bit to make them tired. Possibly using battle rhythm as well to make them even more tired. But they're very tired. They are becoming tired super quickly now. Should be exhausted soon. So again, I want to see if it affects the accuracy and the rate of fire on these slingers, and ultimately if it affects the amount of kills the units are able to get, because that could potentially be very important. The practical implications here would be that if the beleg slingers fire slower when they use an ability, like quick reload or when archers use precision shot, then it might not be worth using that ability. But if there is no effect on the rate of fire, and 1, 2, 1, 2, it's I mean, I can't, from what I can see, there is no difference in the speed at which these units are able to fire, and the very tired units is actually killing more than the unit that is fresh, but it's also standing ever so slightly closer. So, and this unit is firing through this terrain here, so that might come into play. But the main thing was to check for rate of fire, and it doesn't really seem like the rate of fire is affected too much. At least not noticeable, and that is a bit strange, because the reload on exhausted units is reduced by 50%. So with a 50% reduction in reload, doesn't really affect the mercenary beleg slingers. And one important thing to keep in mind is that these mercenary beleg slingers have a trait called resistant to fatigue. So it says that fatigue has less of an effect on this unit. Now, I have been poking around like crazy in the database for more information about this. If any of you know, that it would be of great help, because I haven't been able to find out. So if this unit is going to tire less quickly, that is one thing. But if the actual effects of fatigue are reduced on the unit, like the negative modifiers to melee attack, because you can't see those on the unit cards, the negative effects to melee attack, speed, weapon damage, if those are less pronounced on this unit than on other units, if that's what the trait also does, then that would be very nice to know. But for the time being, it looks like you can spam your quick reloads and your precision shots as much as possible, and that you indeed should do that in skirmish engagements to get an edge over your opponent. Because skirmish units, or at least slingers, let's keep it to these beleg slingers. These beleg slingers are going to be able to rest while they are standing around and firing in the heat. So I think that makes a strong case for spamming special abilities on at least Balearic Slingers as much as possible, spamming quick reload as much as possible, unless you need all your kiting speed. But if you're in such a bad position that you have to need every ounce of speed that you have, like in the late game, it might not be a good idea to use use quick reload. But if this is early in the game, I see absolutely no reason for not using quick reload, and when these guys are standing around firing, they're actually going to regain their stamina. So two things that surprised me quite a lot in this case, actually: that the rate of fire didn't go down, and that the units were able to regain their stamina while firing. Strength and honor.